The King of every kingdom, He is the champion of heaven. Over every broken heart, hope is rising through the dark. Over every weary soul, we believe. Above the battle, on the other side, defeated Savior stand. Fight for the weak. The love of God, the light over every broken heart. Hope is rising through the dark. Over every weary soul, breathe miracles. Heaven come around tree. Signs and wonders be released. Heal the impossible, breathe miracles. We believe all is we believe the hope is right here will be done. Awaken us, awaken us. Over every broken heart, hope is rising through the dark. Over every weary soul, breathe miracle. I have no idea.
was a signal.
Chains of love is a mystery. Your love is stolen red. Here in my deep state, you whisper that the cries of my broken heart will let you in. There's a river running through my deepest sorrow. There's a river running through my deepest pain. There's a river running through every dream that never been through. Baby, running through. There's a river running through. Love is a mystery.
Oops, sorry, Carlos. Oh.
There's a river running through. There's a river running through. To the
It's not
desert,
the cable.
I found
Because I didn't unplug the left.
you said it.
Now plug it the right. This to the left. How old is that for? See that? So this is the left channel here.
There's a river. There's a river running through our deepest pain. There's a river running through every dream that never came to fade.
There's 2 more weeks.
There's a river running through.
Landing board.
There's a river running through. There's a river running through. There's a river running through.
It's not the station. That's good.
There's a river running. There's a river running. There's a river running through.
He doesn't want to sing. Yep. I know. That's new. I want him to play percussion. I want him to sing.
Well, you can't do it all.
I know.
If you repeat his nail, both of them. But that's good.
I know. Well, I look for the Jesus. Yeah. Oh, trust me. We're gonna have a
Who's the guy that you're
Josh the Rose. Josh the Rose. You know, Heather Terry. Her husband.
Oh, he does sound.
Uh-huh.
Cool. So
He got this kind of thing. He did fine.
yeah.
She can
Like
talk.
good ear or
He can pick up parts.
good.
Yeah. So we just need. Yeah, he's good. Doug. Doug Hardy. Huh?
He doesn't come now.
I don't know why. Yeah, but it was Doug.
Yeah, I know she was right. Yeah, my mom was like, now I'm talking to Jesus. She got me talking to Jesus. She got me talking to when my mom wouldn't try. Now I'm talking to Jesus. Yeah, I love talking to Jesus. And I'll be talking to Jesus the rest of my life. What a friend we have, Jesus. What a friend we have, Jesus. What a friend we have, Jesus. Oh, what a friend we have. What a friend we have, Jesus. What a friend we have, Jesus. What a friend we have, Jesus. Oh, I've got three of my own, trying to raise them up. My oldest is 15. I remember what that was like. Trying to deal with the drama, trying to figure out the questions in my life. I've been looking for a way to show me how to make it all right. Then he walks in my room, where I was singing my praise the other day. He said, I'll come back later. I can tell you got a lot on your mind. I said, it's not in rush. You couldn't have been a better time. 'Cause I was just talking to Jesus. Come over and give it a try. We started talking to Jesus. We started talking to Jesus. We started talking to Jesus.
All right. Come grab a seats. As you have a seat, here's a video for you.
Modern church ministry system, complaints are not only seen but inevitable. Complaints you're about to hear are real and were submitted by volunteers and pastors all across America. The prompt was added for comedic effect. These are the church complaints.
That toilet paper is too rough. I got a stiff in the time quarter. Ma'am. You have no idea where the youth pastor's hands have been. The worship pastor's hair is too long. Very distracting. Those drums are too loud. The cymbals are so shouty, make my eyes hurt. I have the beginning of cataracts. It's not a joke. The youth are too loud, and some of them are kind of shady. Or I'm keeping my purse right by my hip. Youth pastors ought to be a swell idea to put a new LED string lights up on the stage. Now it's blinding me, I can't see nothing. I'll show him. It's early service. This is too early. Jesus Christ, I guarantee he didn't rise before 7 a.m. Praise the Lord. But apparently I have to. The ice machine produces ice cubes that are too large. I'm not a polar bear. Ever heard of global warming? Not that I believe in that. But still, I don't even have gluten-free community bread. Pathetic. It's called a temporary allergy. What do you want? Oh, that breakfast you guys served, the coffee and donuts. Yeah, that was real nutritious. Yeah, it's really great. My nephew Isaac is projected to have diabetes at age 30, and you're going to serve him this? Let's go look at all the nutritious food that you've gotten prepared for that for you. Let's go look at it. How's it going? I present to you the nutritious food that we are serving the next generation. Y'all. Apparently they think cavities is the same thing as global warming. Non-existent. I am a sucker for Oreos, though. Is this the Lakers game? God forbid. Oh, good. We just need more distractions away from the cross. So, yeah, let's get some flavors up in here. Yeah, why not? We need these out, not in. They're too shady. Have you seen the haircuts they're coming to school with? They got blue hair. Makes me sick. But I do this because I care. Because I care about these kids. I care about their futures. And would y'all keep it down? I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm trying to put up a mirror to the church and say, look at you. Look at what you've done. I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. I just find it interesting. We got inflatables, we got candy, we got basketball hoops, and slam dunk competition. Where's the gospel? But I'm sure it'll be a beautiful event. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to the next church council meeting. I'll tell you what, we pay that youth pastor way too much money. You see that necklace on his wife's neck? It's too Bible-based. It's too culture-based. It's too scripturally based. Just base it off of what I want. How hard is it? You know, it's a good series, that Fireproof series. It's really held up throughout the years. HOL. Speaking of HOL, Mr. Kirk Cameron, he's a dream, isn't he? I like to get my hands on him. Oh, Bill, I'm kidding. Here's an observation. I think Chase should stop wearing all those sweaters. The ones with the pullovers, with the zippers on, because I think the zippers make him look feminine. When I look at him, I just think, that boy drives a Prius. I don't like that. Men of God do not drive electric cars. I'll tell you what, Cody the reader, his face is not naturally welcoming at all. It's very off-putting. But sometimes Cody can be too friendly and welcoming, you know? Like he's up to something. There's no such thing as too welcoming, too nice. I get it. We want enthusiasm, but we don't want charisma like that. We are not a Pentecostal. No, we're so confused. I love that Stephen Furtick though. That chin, you know, it's like a superhero chin. I don't know what I have to do to be his damsel in distress. I'll throw myself off the building back too. I don't know what he smells like. Wait, mahogany and fresh cut lawn, but also maybe like a lawn that's been ignored for months on end. Sitting out there just asking to be taken care of by some strong woman. Don't mind me, I love getting out of service at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Slow down, this is not Fast and Furious. Because I almost fast and I'm furious now. Golly, Ben.
Don't grow up to be like that. Some of you are already there, so some of you need to not grow up to be like that. All right? Don't do that. Couple announcements for you. Nelson's got a game. He's going to come lead us in just a moment. Announcements, if you use the YouVersion Bible app, they're there under the outline. Correct, Nelson? It's there. YouVersion's up? Okay. He's throwing up the gang signs, white supremacist signs back there, according to the news.
The what?
Did you not see that this week?
No.
Sorry. They accused somebody of throwing up a white supremacist sign that was an okay sign or 3, or I don't know. I didn't read the article.
You just laughed at it.
I just laughed at it. I read headlines and laugh. That's what I do. All right. Announcements coming up for you. Sign up to help out with VBS. You can text the word VBS to 386-400-9991. It is for you as students to sign up that way. Adults sign up a completely different way. Don't let your parents sign up to help that way, and don't sign up the way your parents sign up, because that's going to be confusing. All right? So, VBS help, 386-400-9991, word VBS. If you want to help with Connect Camp and you're in high school, if you have finished 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, you can help with Connect Camp that week by signing up, by texting the word Connect. They're going to want to charge you $40 to help out because they give you a whole bunch of swag stuff like water bottles and t-shirts. If that's something you want to do, come and see me first. I can give you a password, a code word, whatever, coupon, then you can sign up for free. They'll take off the $40 they would charge you. So do that before you sign up. It'll save you $40. Sign up for Connect Camp, PBS, mission teams already signed up. Summer camps you already signed up for. If you haven't gotten the summer calendar, they're over here, the summer fiesta. There's something that's not on the summer calendar. I told you last week I was going to announce this week though.
Really? You're announcing it today?
Are you not ready for people to sign up?
No, I am. I'm stoked.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
No, I'm ready.
Because if it doesn't work, it's Nelson's fault, all right?
Yes, but you only changed the code word, right?
Yes, I know what the code word is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, good.
If you told me correctly, I know you told me, so that's it.
I'll correct you.
So, I got 2 more announcements, that and one other. First and most important announcement is next week is Mother's Day. Do not forget it's Mother's Day. Take care of getting your mom something nice. All right? Mother's Day, mother parental units, whoever that is for you, buy them something nice and tell them you love them, all right? Figure that out, do that. You want to buy them something, that's good. Which means also next Sunday night, we're not going to meet on Sunday night. All right? I'm not competing with your mother for your time. All right? So just clearly don't come to church next Sunday night to celebrate your mother. All right? I don't stand a chance against your mom. It's okay. All right? So no Sunday Night Live next week. And then after that, we only have 2 more weeks before the summer. So we've got 2 more weeks. And then it comes to Memorial Day weekend. On that Memorial Day weekend, on May 30th, since we're not going to have Sunday Night Live, we're going to do something else. You don't have school on Monday. One, if you go to Stetson Baptist Christian School, you don't have school Monday because you're out for the summer. If you go to Volusia County, then you still have 4 days left. But saying it's true. So, but you do have Monday off because of holiday. So on Monday, since Monday's a holiday, on Sunday night, we don't have Sunday Night Live, but we are going to go to Dino Climb from 8 to 10 o'clock. And for 2 hours, we'll have snacks and stuff there, and you can come and climb with our group for only $15.
Yeah,
That's $15, right,
Yeah,
Nelson?
yeah.
Okay. Normally, when you go to pay, how much do you normally go to pay for 2 hours? Like $40, like $50, maybe 60. I don't know.
I didn't get wrong.
So, what? It costs you $15.
We're gonna pay the rest. We'll take
We'll
care
pay
of
the
it.
rest. It costs you $50. That includes all your gear and everything you need.
Yep, everything's
You have to
included.
wear closed-toed shoes.
Closed-toed shoes, and you have to have a parent drop you off with an
They
ID.
give you shoes. Okay, they
Sign away.
closed-toed shoes. So all the gear or whatever it takes to climb is included in that price. $15 for the 2 hour time period. Your parental unit has to drop you off there. So if you have your driver's license, or you just got your driver's license, you're a danger to society because you're driving, be careful. But your parental unit has to drop you off because they have to sign a waiver as they drop you off that night. All right? Unless you're 18, and then you can sign your own parental unit waiver. All right?
Nice, you take your hands.
You take your own life into your hands.
Yes.
All right? So no, you're not 18 yet. You can't sign yourself. You have to sign one for them that night. Is my
Here's a
understanding.
waiver on file.
So how do you sign up for such a great event? Because we're going to have limited capacity. How do you sign up for such a great event, Nelson?
How?
Thank you for asking that, Ronnie. I'm glad you asked. Since you asked, I'll tell you. You can text the word. You want to guess what the word is?
That was the word.
That was going to be the word, but its autocorrect kept changing it, and I thought that was really difficult.
Yeah.
So the word is climb. Climb to 386-400-9991.
Yeah.
It will take you to the parent info page where your parent will put their information in, and then it'll say register your student and ask for the $15 payment there. So when you go to sign up, you have to have a credit card to pay for it. I'm waiting to see what Gabe's gonna do here, because he's like, I'm signing up right now.
No, you don't. Yeah, you need to.
He's like, look, how are you gonna pay for that, Gabe? Yeah, exactly. Nelson, come lead us to the game.
All right, I'm on my way. Hold on, I have to go back this way real quick. Wait, the door is being funny noise. Where did I put this stuff? Oh, the stuff's over here. The stuff's over here. Awesome. We are going to play a game tonight that involves everybody. So I need everybody to stand up. It is called Which is Worse? So what's going to happen is up on the screen, there are going to be two things up on the screen. You are going to pick which one of those is worse by going to that side. This is chocolate and it is a prize. But I'll explain it as we go. So hold on. Let's go to the first slide and we'll see, and I'll explain further how the game works. What is worse? Cereal without milk, go to the left side. No, go back. Pancakes without syrup is worse, go to the right. Make a decision. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, you have made your decision. Now let's add a level to this. I need somebody, one person from each side, to argue their side and tell the other side why they're wrong. All right, Ronnie, you'll be up first. And Gabe, and guess what? The winner gets a piece of chocolate. So that's what we add on to this. We'll make it happen next time. All right, Ronnie, do you want to go first on why cereal without milk is worse? No, you're not going to go first. All right, Gabe, why is pancakes without syrup worse?
Although cereal is good for snacking on, pancakes without syrup is a sin against God. Plus, it can also be.
Can you present some scripture to back that up? Is that biblical, Carlos?
Hey,
John 1:4.
where's my assistant?
All right,
Where's my
Ronnie.
assistant?
Ronnie, no, you can't have another person. Here we go, Ronnie. Why is cereal without milk worse? No, you can't hold the mic.
Okay.
So let me imagine you're eating some cereal. Okay, you're eating like Toast Crunch or whatever. Yeah, Toast Crunch. Egg milk. Without milk, what is it? Garbage. Mineral sewage. Disgusting garbage. Only the worst of human time.
All right, Ronnie, this argument was really enlightening. Do you have a rebuttal real quick?
I do have a rebuttal.
What is that?
Okay, even though the milk doesn't add any flavor, it's just a lubricant so you can get it easier down your throat.
No, all right.
No.
You know what? You use. I will literally find it. You know what? The winner is going to be Ronnie. I agree with you, Ronnie. I made the decision. It's my game. All right, next slide. Here we go. Is writing a 5-page book report worse, or is reading the book to write about it? What is worse, writing a 5-page book report, or reading the book to write about it? No being in the middle. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, you have chosen your side. I need one person from this side to argue. Aaron, you were very quick to wanting to argue. Come join us. Who wants to argue from this side? Brianna, you're already there. Okay. All right, Brianna. Would you like to go first? No, you're not going to go first. All right, Aaron, here we go.
So, having to read the book, you don't get to choose the book. So you have to sit through a book that you do not like half the time. And at least writing, you get to write your own words.
Is that your argument? Is there more? That's it. Okay. All right. I'm not sure I'm convinced yet. Brianna?
Okay, first of all, to read a book, all you have to do is just read. You don't really have to put much thought into it. To write an essay.
Hold on. You're telling me you don't have to think while you're reading the book?
Yo! Let her finish! Let her finish!
No, let her finish! Okay, to write a 5-page book report, you have to plan it out and you have to think so hard to make it perfect. Plus, in order to write the essay, you have to read the book too, so you're putting twice the effort in. I say, take the missing.
Let me ask this side. On this side, real quick. How many of you guys have used Cliff Notes before to write a book report?
How do you know what Cliff Notes are?
Yeah. All right. Brianna, I am really struggling here right now with writing a paper, so you're going to win this side. Good job, Brianna.
Nelson, you're horrible at choosing winners here. You're wrong.
It's my opinion. I don't think I can be.
You're wrong.
All right, here we go. Next slide. Which is worse? Hot dog with no toppings or chicken nuggets with no sauce? Which is worse? No, you can't stand in the middle. Pick a side. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Hot dog and bed, that's it.
1. All right. All right, here we go. All right, guys, who wants to argue on this side? I need someone. All right, Gavin, you're up. Gavin's ready to argue.
Hey.
Karen, you're here.
What chicken nuggets are you talking about? McDonald's, Burger King, or Chick-fil-A?
Do you want me to specify?
Yes.
Because if it's Chick-fil-A.
I'm just going to say McDonald's again.
Okay, well, that's chicken nuggets.
All right, here we go. All right, Gavin, are you
That's
ready?
the problem is reading McDonald's chicken nuggets. Doesn't matter if sauce or not.
That ain't chicken, bro.
Turn off your mic. Here we go. All right, Cameron, you're going to go first. Cameron, why are nuggets with no sauce worse?
Because chicken is unflavorful.
Chicken is unflavorful without sauce. This side is really hyped for you. I don't know if that. Okay, Gavin, why is hot dogs with no sauce bad?
Because chicken, it just tastes like chicken. You don't really need sauce for chicken nuggets. And with hot dogs, if you know what hot dogs are made of, you need sauce to consume the flavor.
Can you explain to me what hot dogs are made of?
It's everything but the orange.
Pig lips, like roast pork animal.
Everything but the orange.
Hey, Andrew, I think I might vote with you on this side. Gavin, you win. Good job. Congratulations, this side. Good job. All right, here we go. Which is worse? Cold hot chocolate or warm chocolate milk?
100%.
My goddaughter.
Warm hot chocolate, cold chocolate, or warm chocolate milk. You can't. I understand hurts your brain, but they are different. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I need somebody to argue. Oh, that's just Maggie's not going to. Maggie needs to argue. Now you're doing such a good job. Come on, Maggie. Awesome job. They're rooting for you already. All right, who wants to argue on this side? Here we go. Ronnie, you argue on one. Carlos, come on, argue. Carlos, what? You want to argue together?
Yeah.
Carlos is going to see you. All right, Carlos is coming. All right, Maggie, here you go. Come on, that side. What are you doing over there? All right, here we go. Maggie, would you like to go first?
That's your mom.
They're all leaving here. All right, Maggie. Maggie, why is cold hot chocolate worse?
Because the marshmallows get rough hard.
When it's cold, the syrup separates. Do you want to add more to the argument, or are you good? You're good. All right. Okay. Carlos.
Most important point they call hot chocolate is that sometimes hot chocolate is either milk or water. So if it's water, it's okay. But over here, it's always milk. And the bad thing is that warm milk can be nasty and curdly, whereas warm water or cold water is okay.
Yeah! Good job, Carlos! Do you want to rebuttal? Is there anything you say you just want
Chunky Milk has protein.
All right, I think it's going to be father versus son. I'm going to let Gabe tag you. Yeah, one bottle. Let's see what happens.
Although it is milk, milk can be also processed into other things. Like it can be also used to like make other things, including cakes.
That has nothing to do
I'm
with
not sure where we're going with this. Are we talking about more chocolate milk?
We're talking about more chocolate milk. I'm making a rebuttal to you. Okay, but what you said about warm chocolate milk rests your body. You know what warm milk does to your body? Like, you know when microwave cups of warm, like just a little bit warm milk to actually fall asleep.
No, you bring no. You don't do that. All right, Carlos, you win. All right. One more. Here we go. What is worse, getting a free high-rise apartment and being afraid of heights, or getting a free yacht but getting seasick all the time? What is worse? Which is worse, free high-rise apartment, or getting a free yacht and getting sick all the time? All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I need somebody to argue over here. Who's interested? Cameron, you can't. You already left. You're switching sides. Mackenzie, are you coming? Mackenzie's on her way. All right. Eli, here we go, guys. Wait, Gavin's switching. All right, here we go. Mackenzie, would you like to go first? All right, Mackenzie, you're going first. Here we go. Mackenzie, why is getting a free yacht always getting sick worse?
Okay, so if you're always getting seasick, you're always sick. There's always a chance that you might be growing a brain. But if you're just in a high apartment, you have a fear of heights, you can just stay in your bed, stay away from any kind of like window.
You're on the wrong side.
Thank you.
You're on the wrong side.
Because you're always sick. She's saying if you're on this side, you're always sick. So that's worse. Or easily sick. All right, here we go. Which is worse? All right, here we go. Andrew has to argue. Andrew's like, all right, Andrew, are you ready? Andrew, here we go.
I know that.
I don't, do you want me to give it to Ronnie or you want to argue? Okay, all right.
I got my own. All right, so this is worse because that's better over here. So if you can get a free boat, I will take my free boat and I will float out on my trailer on land and I will live on my boat on land for as long as I need to and not get seasick a day in my life. Boom!
I don't know. I mean, I understand the point you're making.
Do you understand the point?
Do you want a rebuttal? Yeah. All right.
You gotta pay a lot of money to get the boat out there. When all you really need is to get some blackout curtains and you don't even know that you're up there.
All that money I just saved on not buying a house, I'm gonna
Andrew,
go.
it's not your turn. It's not your turn, Andrew.
Blackout curtains, you don't even have to look outside when you're on the
I
boat.
didn't say money was an issue. This is like money is an issue here.
Come on, here we go. Ronnie, what do you have to say to finish this off?
So if we're on the money issue, do you guys know how much it costs to build a high rise by yourself? Bro, we go to bed in like 5 minutes.
No, it's in the speedo, Ronnie. Andrew, I think Ronnie's lost it.
Why did you put a microphone in front of him? That's not my fault.
Why you good to you? Good job, guys. All right, everybody, get back to your seats. I'm going to pray for us as Carlos comes up and leads us in worship. Man, some of you guys were really right, and some of you guys were really wrong. Just gonna let you know. All right, guys, let's bow our heads and get ready for worship. Dear God, thank you so much for the opportunity just to come here tonight, God, and just worship you, to play fun games and just listen to your word. God, the message that Andrew brings tonight, let us just speak into our lives and speak into our hearts, God. Let us not leave tonight the same as we came in. God, you are so good to us. You have given us so much. Let us continue just to walk with you. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, let's all stand up. We're creation, suddenly articulate, with 1,000 tongues to make one cry. And from north to south and east to west, we hear Christ be magnified. We're the whole earth echoing his eminence, his fame wonders from sea and sky. From rivers to the mountain tops, we hear Christ be magnified. Oh, Christ be magnified, let his praise arise. Christ be magnified in me. Oh, Christ be magnified, the altar of my life. Christ be magnified in you. Every creature finds its inmost melody, and every human heart its native cry. Oh, let him walk in raptured hymn of praise. We hear Christ be magnified. Oh, Christ
I won't bow to idols. I'll stand strong and worship you. And if it puts me in the fire, I'll rejoice 'cause you're there too. I won't be for my feelings. I'll hold fast to what is true. And if the cross brings transformation, then I'll be crucified with you. 'Cause death is just a doorway into resurrection life. If I join you in the suffering, then I'll join you when you rise. And when you return in glory, with all the angels and the saints, my heart will still be singing, my song will be the same. Oh, Christ be magnified, let His praise rise. Christ be magnified in me. Oh, Christ be magnified, the altar of my life. Christ be magnified in me. Oh, Christ be magnified, let His praise arise. Christ be magnified in me. Christ be magnified, the owner of my life. Christ be magnified in me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me with your love to love around me. I will build my life upon your love. It is the firm foundation. I will put my trust in you, Lord, and I will not be shaken. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you, Lord, and I will not be shaken. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. I will my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you, Lord, and I will not be shaken.
How many of you have ever used a deck of cards before? We played a game with a deck of cards last week, in case you forgot. So that should be helpful. Maybe you can see these from where you're sitting. So when I say a deck of cards, like, what would you describe a deck of cards? How would you describe it to someone who's never seen it before? Like, what are some like characteristics that has to have, Cameron? And that's why we're not asking you to describe it. Yeah.
Deck of 50 cards that there's two colors and it goes from 1 to 10, Jack, and different things.
There's a 1 in here? There's a 1 in here?
2 to 10.
2 to 10 with an ace. All right.
52 levels of paper variety with.
You're done. All right, so Gavin did a really good job. He left out one important thing, I think. Nelson thinks he knows.
Suits. Joker.
There's the Joker. So you pull a Joker. There's 2 Jokers in there. I don't know why there's.
They came with Jokers?
So it's red and black. The suits. So this is diamonds. Let's see if I pull out.
Oh, clubs.
What is this, Nelson?
Spade. I can't see from back here. Sorry.
Spade. Oh, he's in the back. That's his excuse for not being able to see the giant card.
I can't. I'm blind.
Another diamond. Diamond. Spade.
Heart.
Hearts. I'm just pulling out random cards there.
Club.
Does anybody call us puppy dogs? What do you call it? A what? Puppy dog? No. Clover? No. I'm just curious. So there's different names. So here's the thing about some types of cards. I've got some other playing cards. One thing I like to collect when I go to different countries, mission trip and stuff, is playing cards. And so these were Honduras. These are from Ecuador. All right. And so if I were to open these up, are these cards going to look like those cards? They're not. And so it's kind of they're going to be smaller, yes. But this is a Jack of Clubs. I know it's hard to see, but it's got Volcan Cotopaxi on here, which is a volcano. And it gives the height of it in meters, so it doesn't really do any good, but about 6,000 meters, which is about 10,000 feet. And so each card, if I remember correctly, is a different image. This one's a different volcano. Another volcano. There's a lot of volcanoes there, by the way. This is the Monumento de la Mitad del Mundo, which is the equator, because the equator goes through Ecuador. Which actually the statue is off on the actual equator by like 30 feet or 100 feet or something like that. Like they built a statue and then we got better technology and like it's not actually on the equator. And it's so these cards look different, but they have some characteristics that are still the same, correct? Like if you were to play cards with these, you would still be able to play the exact same games with those. Maybe just have to get your eyeglasses out if you're having trouble seeing them, like Nelson on the back. But besides that, these cards, even though they're different, they still do the exact same thing. Some companies decide luxury cards, some companies come up with different aspects they change along the way, but whether the backs of the cards, the face of the cards, whatever artistic freedom a company takes, the cards still serve their purpose, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Most of the times it's usually around like the ace of spades. People like think of that one all the time, so we want to change. But just because the cards aren't what we imagine doesn't mean they're not useful, and it doesn't mean they're not important. So what do cards have to do with the judges?
What do cards have to do with book judges?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. It seems an odd place, but we're starting with it because sometimes in life you were dealt a hand that you did not expect. Oh,
Like a literal.
And there are things that you may not expect, but God gives you, and you have to go with it, whether it's what you expect or not. And sometimes it's okay to not be normal. Some of you are very excited about that. So I know it's okay. So last week we started talking about this idea of there's a cycle of sin, of disobedience that we get stuck in. And in the book of Judges, we see that cycle repeated over and over and over again. That there was a generation who did not know God or the commandments of God, and so they lacked a wonder of who God was, and they lacked the storytelling and worship of who He was, and so they missed out on the wonder and the worship of God. And because they missed out on that, their sin, their disobedience led them to fall away from God, and God would have to send judges periodically. Judges are not like Judge Judy, but judges are more like the Rock, all right? Rescuers, saviors who come and free them from their sin and stuff. So that's the cycle. So we talked about that last week. When we get to our first judge tonight that we're actually going to look at, it's a guy named Ehud.
Yes.
All right? Now, Ehud, so background, because you got to have some background. So the nation of Israel has been free for about 40 years. So they've had a judge already. He's not the first judge, but he is a judge. They've had about 40 years of things going well. The judge before him was Othniel. He saved them from the Cushan Haramatha. And so, yeah, the Cushan those people. So he saved them. During that period of rest, people of God begin to forget. They forget the storytelling, the wonder, and they forget to worship God. We miss the wonder and the worship, bad things happen. So 40-year period, things going good, and all of a sudden, they're not going well anymore. So Moab, a country there around where the Israelites are at, is strengthened. The king's name is Eglon. All right. He brings the Ammonites and the Amalekites together to overthrow the Israelites. So, not a surprise. It did come as a surprise to the Israelites, but the people of Israel disobeyed and God punished them. Cameron. No. He has an egg-shaped body. As you'll see. All right. So, this captivity and oppression happened for 18 years. So that's longer than most of you have been alive. And it's almost half of the amount of time that they just had in a prosperous good time. So 40 years of really good things, and now they've been in captivity for about almost 20 years. It's been 18, close to 20. So they've had a time for a generation to forget the wonder and worship, how those things miss out. So there are some things we need to see from them, things to be worried of. So we're going to look at how God raised a new judge in Ehud, that he is unique in his factors of why God chose him, that God would use these things to help release the people from that. But his unique factor is not the only thing we want to focus on, because I think there's 4 things that we can see from Ehud that we can look at in our own lives that can help us make sure that we understand what God wants for us, so we don't repeat the cycle over and over again. So 4 things we're going to be worried about as we read this story. It is in Judges chapter 3, verses 15 through 30 that we're going to look at tonight. And if you have the Bible version, you can Bible app, it's on there, or you can follow on the screen. So let's read the passage and we'll talk about it. Verse 15, then the people of Israel cried out to the Lord, and the Lord raised up for them a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, the Benjamite, a left-handed man. The people of Israel sent tribute by him to Eglon, the king of Moab. And Ehud made for himself a sword with 2 edges, a cubit in length, and he bound it on his right thigh under his clothes. All right. You probably heard this story, but we're going to look at it. All right. So one thing we could be worried of is the norms that we see in everyday life. New face doesn't really matter. So Ehud is not the first judge. All right. He's also probably not the typical of judges. People fall back in their pattern. So God raises up Ehud. He gives them the power. Why did God choose Ehud? Did he choose him just because he was left-handed? I mean, that's a really bad reason. Like, does God only choose left-handed people? Any left-handed fan? Who's left-handed out here? All right. Okay. So there's a few of you that are different. All right. Yes. Why would God choose Ehud? Ehud is different. He's not just left-handed, but probably more unique to Ehud is that he is a Benjamite.
Mm-hmm.
A Benjamite is a son of one of the tribes. There are 12 tribes. The youngest son is Benjamin. And so they were the youngest and the smallest tribe. They were the ones that weren't thought of very highly. Like when you look at the tribe of Benjamite, when you look at the Bible now, there are some pretty significant people who come from the tribe of Benjamin. There weren't in Ehud's day. Like there was nobody that really was significant in the Old Testament when Ehud came along. They were from the tribe of Benjamin. Does anybody know? So past Ehud, there were some people. Anybody know some people from the tribe of Benjamin? No.
She's driving fast. Come on.
Who was Israel's first king?
David.
No.
Saul. Oh, Dory.
Saul was Israel's first king. Saul was a Benjamite.
I know.
All right. There's another guy. He's in the New Testament. He talks a lot about his qualifications. And he talks about one of the things he says in Philippians chapter 3, I think. He's a Hebrew of Hebrews, a Pharisee of Pharisees from the tribe of Benjamin. Paul wrote half the New Testament, 2/3 of the New Testament, whatever you want to count it as. Like Paul is a Benjamite. He's from the tribe of Benjamin. So there are some pretty significant people. Maybe you've heard of the story of Esther. She is a Benjamite. So there are people now, but in Ehud's day, to be from the tribe of Benjamin was not to have much really clout in their society. He was different. He was not the chosen one. He was not the one they would look at and be like, man, you're obvious. He was just a regular guy. Now, he was a left-handed warrior. Now, left-handed people are unique, all right? Are unique, all right? People who are left-handed are not typically the normal either. Like the majority of people are typically right-handed. And so what's true today was also true back then for them. But it's not why he chose him, but it was a factor that worked out for him. So his sword was on his right side, all right? So this is right side, which if I'm right-handed and I'm going to put a sword on my side, I'm putting it on my left side because you can grab it out, all right? So he had it on his right side, which is an important factor of the story. So he's different, all right? Ehud's not right-handed. So my question is, can different be good?
Yeah.
Some of you are just different, and it's not a good thing. So, Ronnie's a great example. He throws himself there. I mean, being different for the sake of being different is not what the book of Judges is advocating here. Like, it's not, we should just be different because we want people to think of us and laugh at us when they look at us. No, that's not, don't be different to be different, but different can be good. All right, the difference that Ehud had, the difference that enables him to accomplish his task is that he had a unique trait that set him apart, which allowed God to use him to liberate the people. What is unique about you? What sets you apart from the people who are around you, from the crowd? Who do you have in your life who can say, hey, this is something unique that sets you apart? There are some things in your life that should set you apart from everybody else. We should not be like the world around us. God did not make anybody else like he made you. If God was going to make somebody else just like he made you, then you would be useless. You would have no point. God has not created anybody else like you. He has created you for a specific purpose. He has created you uniquely because he has a specific purpose for your life. And so that is important for us to understand because we are made unique. God doesn't make two people alike. He makes us different for different purposes. So can the normal be bad, though? If the difference can be good, can the normal be bad? Because sometimes we get so fixated on the norm or the standard of society. To be regular, to fit, means to fit in. Our culture today says you've got to be a certain way to fit in with everybody else. If you don't agree politically with the politicalness of the day, you're not going to fit in. If you're not going to agree with the cultural norms of accepting and being tolerating of all people and all creeds and all, you have to accept everybody, or you're not tolerant. And it's going to be difficult. I love that song this week. There's an atheist by the name of Richard Dawkins. He is a well-known atheist. He is very outspoken against Christianity. He has written lots of books. One of his books called The God Delusion is a really well-written book with some really bad premises. And he misses on a lot of points, but it's one of those books that if you're an atheist, you've probably read his book and you probably treat his book like Christians read the Bible to some degree. All right, like he is a well-known atheist. Back in like 1996 or something like that, he was awarded the American Humanist Award, which humanism is just this idea that all thoughts are equal, everybody's kind, there's a very reasonable, logical group. This week, I think it was this week or maybe the last 2 weeks here, he put out a tweet on Twitter that he was saying, he just asked a question. He said, if we can discuss the basis of transgenderism and guys claiming to be guys because they feel like, or guys claiming to be girls because they feel like a girl, and why can't someone claim to be a different race? And the whole woke side of society came after him and canceled him, and the American Humanist Society rescinded their award to him.
Wow.
To this leading atheist, that if you're trying to fit in with our culture is going to cancel you, even if you agree with them 99% of the time. Like, if you try to fit in with culture, you're going to get canceled. Guess what? You're going to get canceled as a Christian. There is nothing you can do in our culture today that's not going to get you canceled. So don't try to fit in with our culture. Live what you are called to live. Live the way that God's designed you to live, and don't try to be normal, because normal is not going to work. Even if you're an atheist, you're going to get canceled. I mean, like, there is no way that you're safe out there. So don't try to fit in and to do the things that are quote unquote normal. God has made you uniquely to be who you're called to be. So be that person. All right. Moving on. Judges chapter 3, verses 17 through 21. And he presented the tribute of Eglon of Moab. Now, Eglon was a very fat man.
Egg boy.
I'm guessing he is a very large man, because the Bible does not describe a lot of people as fat. All right, so just not to be judgmental against people of big bones, okay, because I am one. So he is a very big man. All right. And when Ehud had finished presenting the tribute, he sent away the people who carried the tribute, but he himself turned back at the idols near Gilgal and said, I have a secret message for you, O king. And he commanded him silence, and all his attendants went out from his presence. And Ehud came to him as he was sitting alone in his cool roof chamber. And Ehud said, I have a message from God for you. And he arose from his seat, and Ehud reached from his left hand and took the sword at his right thigh, and he thrust it into his belly. Be wary of secrets. Be wary of secrets. I don't think you're going to get stabbed, but secrets. But we have a culture and society that loves secrets. We like to live, I won't say completely double lives, but we like to present ourselves a certain way on social media. We try to present ourselves a certain way because we want people to think a certain way about us. But we live a completely different way. Secrets change who we are. I can remember a student I had back when I was in Chattanooga. And she was a good student, but she had a reputation. And there were adult leaders in our student ministry who spoke negatively against her. And like they were like, oh, you don't want to hang out with that person. You don't want to hang out with her. Like she's gonna bring you down. And these were adults in the student ministry. They wouldn't say it to her, but they would say it about her. It is pretty cruel. And I don't do that. Like, I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna say it to your face first off. So, all right, I have no problem telling it to your face, right, Nelson?
Yep.
So, like, I will say it to your face. That doesn't bother me. I don't like secrets because they would say these things. But one of the things I love about my wife is that she also doesn't deal with secrets, and she went out of her way to show her kindness and to show her grace and to care about her. I think it was like last year, maybe 2 years ago. She messaged my wife on that Facebook and just said, hey, I know what people were saying about me. I'm not an idiot. I know what people were saying about me. Thank you for loving me. I just want you to know, like, I'm going to graduate school this year, college, and I'm helping out with a Christian ministry right now, and I'm doing for young girls what you did for me. That makes a difference because she was not willing to speak secrets. When we speak secrets, what secrets do, secrets keep us from seeing the truth about people. I remember when I came here about 5 years ago, there were people, when they talked about that kid, they would say, oh, you need to watch out for that kid. I'll use Jonah. Do you want to watch out for Jonah? He's the preacher's kid. It was not Jonah, by the way. You want to watch out for that kid. And they would say things about that kid. If I told you who it was today, like that kid, you would know who they were because one, they're one of the few people who were students now who are still serving in the church and leading ministries within our church now. But people said, oh, you want to be careful of that person. They're one of the people now who I would trust more than anybody else to lead ministries amongst the people who people are like, oh man, can you believe that? Secrets keep you from seeing the good things about people. And I say that because what people said about that person, if I would have believed them, if I would have took their word for it, if I would have listened to the secrets, the gossip, then I wouldn't have had a relationship with that person now. I wouldn't be able to say they're leading a ministry because I was able to invest in them because I ignored what everybody else said about them. Secrets keep us from seeing the truth about people. We have to make sure that we don't let secrets keep us from following what God wants us to do. Secrets can seem harmless at the moment, but they destroy the future relationships and potential we have when we talk to one another. When you start middle school, when you start high school, the secrets you talk about other people, people will be like, oh, that person, you don't want to hang out with that person. Are those secrets going to keep you from building relationships? Are those secrets going to keep you from sharing Christ with that person? We cannot let secrets keep us from doing that. Secrets are enticing. Like if secrets were not enticing, they'd be easy to ignore. But we feel like, oh, there's this secret knowledge out there that I can have. This secret knowledge that no one else has. And we grab onto that. We want to hold on. Like Ehud tells Eglon, I've got a secret. Eglon's like, oh, this is going to be good. Everybody get out of here. I need to hear this secret. Now, Eglon was not a man with great, not saying intelligence, not common sense. He was not a great guy with self-control because of his description. He was a big man. Obviously, self-control was not something that he had a lot of. So when he heard, oh, there's a secret I get to hear, I want it. There was a sense of self-indulgence. I want to hear that sin. I want to hear this secret. I want that. And so he grabs onto it. He says, I need that. So when he's presented with it, when he feels special, he latches onto it. He lets his guard down. But secrets also disturb our position because when we hear about secrets, we believe it gives us a chance to change our position. Like Eglon did it because he thought, man, I'm going to hear this secret. It's going to make me feel more important. I know something about someone else, and if I know that, it's going to make me into a better person, that it put me in a better place. And so he is a big man he is used to self-indulgence. And that's where his sin gets him. Yes. Secrets require strength to resist. If Eglon says no to the secrets, he doesn't die. True. If he had said, I don't want to hear the secret, he could have walked out. He'd still be king. He'd still be living. But because he was willing to fall into it, he perished. So when we start having a habit of secrets in our life, we are starting ourselves on a path that leads us to death. Secrets lead us that we should have a life. We should live a lifestyle that is open to other people. When we start hiding secrets, that's where sin creeps in. When you look at pastors and ministry leaders who have fallen from being a pastor and ministry leader, the mistakes they made were not necessarily in the mistakes they made. Those were mistakes, but they didn't start there. They started when they started keeping secrets. When they started not being truthful with the people around them. Have someone you can be truthful with about everything. If you are holding back something from someone, it is leading you down a path that's dangerous. We got to move quickly, so listen quickly. Verses 22-26. And the hilt also went after the blade. The hilt's the handle of the sword. The handle of the sword went in the blade, and the fat closed over the blade, for he did not pull the sword out of his belly, and the dung came out. Then Ehud went into the porch and closed the doors of the roof chamber behind him and locked them. When he had gone, the servants came, and when they saw that the doors of the roof chamber were locked, they thought, surely he is relieving himself in the closet of the cool chamber. You know what they're saying? He's just taking a dump. It's all good. That was clean compared to the Bible. And they waited till they were embarrassed. But when he still did not open the doors of the roof chamber, they took the key and they opened them, and there lay the Lord dead on the floor. Ehud escaped while they delayed, and he passed beyond the isles and escaped to Sarah. Be wary of waiting. Be wary of waiting. Ehud was able to escape because the guards waited. So there's a lack of noise coming from the room, and this enables Ehud to walk out without concern. The door is locked behind him. The guards think that the king is remaining alone. No one else is in the room. And so the guards hesitate. They wait. I mean, they smelled the smell that was coming out of his room. And they thought, he's just relieving himself. He's just relieving himself. And they waited so long they were embarrassed. Like, I don't know what point that is. It doesn't give us like 5 minutes in the Bible. There's not a time frame. But there is a point where there is an embarrassment of, he's been in there a really long time. I mean, like, there was a concern for him. It was long enough for Ehud to get out, like to escape. And they go in, but the issue is the waiting. Now, let's be clear. There are times when God calls us to wait. I think there are very intentional times where God calls us to wait. You look throughout the Bible, there are very clearly times for us to wait. But I think we are too quick to wait when it's convenient for us. It was convenient for the guards to wait at this point. It was convenient for them to be like, you know what? Something's probably not right, but we're just going to give them a few extra minutes. Like, obviously something's not right, but we're recognizing there is something wrong. When you know something's wrong, and you're like, well, I'm not going to do anything about it, that's when it becomes a sin for us. When you say, oh, there is something I can do, when we see a need that's going on around us, that is an assignment given to us by God. When we see something that we can do to fulfill, and we ignore it, that becomes sin for us. I think when waiting is convenient, that's when we probably should not be waiting. Very simply, make it as easy as possible. If you have not given your life to Jesus, and you're waiting for someone to be like, oh, you need to give your life to Jesus, then you need to give your life to Jesus. I don't know what you're waiting for. When I look around the room, I know some of you are waiting for baptism. I don't know what you're waiting for, because the Bible makes it pretty clear. When you give your life to Jesus, you should get baptized. Quit waiting and go get baptized. Some of you have friends who don't know Jesus, and you're waiting till you get more knowledge, you learn a couple techniques, you learn more Bible verses. I don't know what you're waiting for. Go tell your friends about Jesus. In those cases, our waiting is sinful. We should be wary of the waiting there, because our waiting is leading us away from Christ. There are times when God calls us to wait, but I can guarantee you, there is no time where God calls us to wait to give our life to Him. There is no time where He calls us to wait to get baptized, and there is no time He calls us to wait that we should be telling others about Jesus. Those are 3 times that we should never, ever wait. We should always go forth with what God's called us to do. Be obedient to those times. So be wary of waiting in those things. And then we're going to finish up with verses 27 to 30. And he arrived. He sounded the trumpet in the hill country of Ephraim. Then the people of Israel went down with him from the hill country, and he was their leader. He said to them, follow after me, for the Lord has given your enemies, the Moabites, into your hands. So they went down after him and seized the fords of the Jordan against the Moabites, and did not allow anyone to pass over. And they killed at that time about 10,000 of the Moabites, all strong, able-bodied men. Not a man escaped. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest for 80 years. Be wary of wins. Sometimes winning can lead us to complacency. Now, sometimes it doesn't, and it can be a good thing, but I think there's times where winning leads us to complacency. So the New England Patriots, whether you like them or dislike them, probably over the past 20 years, and you can say it's because of the coach, because of the quarterback, but what they've done is they have won consistently. 6 Super Bowl championships in the past 20 years. That's pretty good. That's not very common. When you compare them to a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, who won their first Super Bowl back in 2017. Nelson's saying yes, someone could. They won in 2017. One of the statements that I took away from that year when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl is they had one of their players come out, and they made the comments basically saying, look, we're going to win our way. We're not going to do it like the Patriots. We're going to have a good time doing it. And the next year, they didn't make the playoffs.
No.
They haven't made the playoffs since. They look like a dumpster fire.
Yes, they
When
do.
you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, you think, can they get anything right? They may have won a Super Bowl, but they didn't do it consistently because they didn't win the right way. You can win and not do it the right way. So wins don't mean you're good. And again, I'm not saying New England's going to win a Super Bowl again this year, but there are things you can do the right way and do it well, and there are things you can do the wrong way, even if you win, that can lead you down a path of complacency. You can win and then be worse off for it. Probably one of the worst things that could have happened to the Philadelphia Eagles was for them to win the Super Bowl. Because their team trajectory after doing that has not been a good path. Because they thought, oh, we did it our way. We did it our way, and we got to the mountaintop, and we're going to stay here forever. And it did not work out well for them. It is not working out well for them. You can win, and you can do it in a good way. Ehud's victory is great. He says, follow after me. The Lord has given your enemy, the Moabites, into our hands. And so then they strike down 10,000 people. That's a good victory. It's a good day. But what comes next? There's peace in the land for 80 years. The people of God pursue after God. There's prosperity. One verse later. After him was Shagmar, the son of Anath, who killed 600 of the Philistines with an ox goad. You can win on day one. You can win on day one of year 2. But what are you doing on year 80? When it comes to year 80, day 1, they had stopped worshiping with God. They had stopped following. They had stopped wondering and telling the stories of God. Those things had gone away for them. They had ignored God. We must follow after God continually each and every day. He is to be our bread of life. Do you know how often you need bread? Every day. You need food. You need nourishment every single day. You are to have a relationship with God every single day. That means when things go bad, sometimes it's easy to turn to God. But how do you turn to God when things are going good? The Israelites, things were going bad, so they called out to God. Things started going good, and they forgot about God. God loves you enough that he will allow bad things to happen to you so you will seek after him. I say this full-heartedly and believing fully. For some of us, if we would seek after God when things are going well in our life, he would not send some of the bad things in our life that we have to face. He has to send the bad things and allow the bad things to happen to us because we're not seeking after him. If we were following him as intently and courageously as we should when things are going wrong, when things are going right, he wouldn't have to send the bad things. But he allows the bad things because he knows that we need him and we need to recognize that. And so he's going to allow those things to happen so that we will recognize that. The key to sustaining strength is to look to Christ daily for that strength instead of ourselves, to see that he is the thing that we need. We are called to hold a different view of the world around us. We are called not to be like those around us. We are not to be normal. We are not to be what the world talks about when it says there are secrets out there. We are not to look at the wins the world says before us. We are not called to just think that we can do things that he wants us to do without following after him and waiting when we should be moving. We are called to be careful and wary of those things. So as we do that, let's not repeat the cycle the judges repeat. Let's not get stuck down where we go down and we have to go back up and down and up. Let's continue to follow him so we can break the cycle. Be wary of those wins. Be wary of waiting. Be wary of the secrets. Be wary of the norms so that we don't fall into those patterns each and every day. Let me pray for us, and then we will be dismissed for the evening. Dear Lord, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for the opportunity to study your word. We thank you for the pattern you give us in Judges. That you give us an example of not what to do, but how to walk away from. Lord, let us be wary of the secrets that are around us. Let us be wary of the normalness that's around us, Father, the culture that we live in. Let us be wary of waiting. Let us be wary of winning, Father, that we can seek after you each and every day. Lord, as we do those things, help us to just seek after you. Lord, not in a formula, but not in a pattern, but in a relationship. Lord, help that relationship to guide us each and every day, to walk with you, to know you, and to live closer with you, Father. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen. Have a great rest of your week. It is time to dismiss. See you later.
Nice.